The big Superb Owl is in town.
Yes, the big game, if you will.
The Super Bowl. The Super Bang.
We get it, Ebro.
The big game.
It's the Super Bowl.
And I don't want to upset the NFL. I'm being very careful.
I know.
I don't want no problems, Rosenberg. But we have a colleague of yours,
not of mine. I don't play in the league.
How should I say this without offending him? Somebody you want to have a bromance with that you stalked on Twitter and text and now have a relationship with, and he's on the program. The NFL's leading receiver last year, Pierre Garçon.
That is absolutely right. Welcome, Pierre.
Glad to be here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when this guy joined the Washington Redskins from the Indianapolis Colts, it was incredible to get a receiver of that level.
All that's wonderful, but you're Haitian.
Yes, sir.
Get right to it.
You know what I mean? You in New York City. You better pay your respects to your people.
Yes. Oh, yes. Shout out to all my people in Brooklyn representing.
You speak Creole?
Oh, yes, without a doubt.
Where you from?
West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, so you're from the South?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to Miami?
Nah, went to a small school in Ohio, Mount Union College.
And then still made it to the NFL and then ended up leading the league.
Yeah.
What round were you drafted in? What round were you drafted in? Sixth round.
So you're in town for the Super Bowl. You haven't made an appearance in the Super Bowl just yet?
Not at the Super Bowl, but just various people, sponsors with the Super Bowl. And
partying in the city.
Wait. So hold on.
You
joined the Colts after the Super Bowl?
No, I went to the Super Bowl in Miami. They went to 2 Super Bowls in Miami. I went to the last one when we played the Saints.
So you were in the last one?
Yeah.
But you weren't there when they won?
No, I wasn't there.
So tell us real quick, what was it like playing with Peyton Manning? My prediction has been that with Peyton Manning having 2 weeks to plan, he's impossible to stop. You played with Peyton. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, you're about right. He's impossible to stop. He's definitely got all the guys on board. He's got to have everybody ready. Hopefully he can pull some win.
Who would you predict if you were picking for Sunday?
I'm picking Peyton, of course.
That's the guy. I'm telling you. That's why I'm betting Jadakiss $250.
Pierre Garçon is here. He's on the Redskins. That's Rosenberg's favorite team.
That's very true.
The only thing I care about with regard to the Redskins is your teammate's hair.
Sorry?
RG3's hair must be a focal point of next season's changes to your program.
All right. What kind of changes you want to see?
I mean, could he get like a Stillmatic, like a classic Caesar made with the half moon part? We got to do the braids.
Why you always kill Robert's hair, man?
Because his hair is horrible.
Why is that considered so bad?
It's just nobody does that anymore. It looks like it's struggle braids, my G. Like you're the quarterback. You're in the NFL. You're in Subway commercials. Do you guys talk about this at practice? Does anybody bring up Robert Griffin III's hair?
No, I think we're all used to it now.
No,
Does anyone?
We can't get used to this.
No one clowns him for it though. No one clowns his hair.
Well, I don't know, probably, but
Not you.
Nah, I'm cool with it. I don't care.
Pierre Garçon, we appreciate you coming by, and I guess the other big conversation for you guys is RG3's health and what your plans are for next season and the coaching changes and things like that.
Have you met Jay Gruden, the new head coach, yet?
Talked to him on the phone. Looking forward to next season. He's an offensive guy, so our offense is still going to continue to be good.
And he must love you. I mean, I'm going to keep it real. Anyone, you get a new head coach, a guy like him who runs after the catch like he does, who plays as hard and physical as he does, he must love you.
Hey, I love playing. So, coaches love me. I love to play. It's definitely a good fit.
Oh, wait, Laura Styles walked in. She said a quick hi to Pierre Garçon.
Hi.
This
Go on
Pierre.
over there. Hug him.
This is Laura.
Yeah,
Ebro, could there be anything better in my life than if my sister, essentially, married a Washington Redskin?
Round of applause.
Could anything be better? We'd be at all the games together. We would tailgate every weekend.
Come on, Laura.
We just met.
That's fine. I just want to put it out in the air. I just think it would be an amazing idea.
He's an accomplished young gentleman.
Guys, you're
He's
not gonna
nice.
do
He's
this.
well dressed. He's well spoken. I'm a father. You know this.
You're a father to be.
That's right. I give my approval to Pierre Garçon.
Hasn't even asked you.
It doesn't matter, and neither does what you think. This is an arranged marriage. Goddammit. You're gonna marry a football player, and we're gonna get some of this money out.
What was it? Was it 107 receptions this year?
13.
113 receptions this year. He surpassed Art Monk's record. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't, because I don't even know what that means.
I know you don't. How brutal was the end? Was the last few weeks there tough? I mean, I was sure we were going to get one. It takes an effort to lose to the Giants twice because they were hot garbage this year. So were those hard for you at the end?
It was very tough, especially when we played the Giants because it was raining too, and it was one of the worst games ever. But when Kirk came in, it was like, all right, we got to start a little spark, a little change. You never know what's gonna happen. Kirk might come in slaying, he might come in doing this thing. And it's just a new energy. Cause,
right. No, I thought the same thing.
Something different, but so guys weren't letting down because it's still a job, so you still got to show up and perform. But losing, we lost close games too.
I know, over and over and over again.
Yeah, Atlanta. No, I was talking about the last 3 games: Atlanta, Dallas, and then the Giants game. That game was they should cancel that game.
And I know this is way out of the realm of any of your responsibilities, but I thought that maybe RG3 should have, when they got to half the season and it was tough and you could tell he wasn't scrambling the same, he was struggling with the brace. I was like, let Shanahan sit him down. I know he sells tickets. I know he sells jerseys. I just felt like that was the deal breaker in the Shanahan relationship with the guy. What's the boss over there? Schneider. He's like, my man, this guy's not even able to do what he's great at. And still you guys went out there. How did you feel about that?
Well, as a football player, you got to play through injuries regardless what it is. But, some guys.
But you were big on the brace. You thought the brace was, you said from jump, it's bad.
You're a sprinter. Sprinters got braces on, knee braces on. They're trying to get away from guys. But, it is the decision. If Robert would have sat down, would have been upset. If he'd played, would have been upset. So regardless.
Are you confident that we will see a much different Robert when he starts next season without that brace?
Yeah, of course. You
don't even worry about it.
No, well, you still worry about the knee a little bit, but it's going to be different. Without a knee brace, especially having some time to recover, especially being back on your feet and getting full strength in your knee.
Yeah, no, because a lot of people come up to me and are like, so what's up with your boy, RG3? And I'm like, I just tell them I'm very confident. I felt that this season, between the brace, coming off of an injury, and the fact that ultimately, and I know you won't be able to say too much on this, but the way things ended with Shanahan, to me, was indicative of a semi-poisonous situation. To me, there was something that was not healthy going on.
Well, when you want to play or you don't want to play and you got to play, and it's always your health, the team first. It's sometimes you got to be selfish, sometimes you got to put the team first. It all.
Realize how good he is at just putting together a string of words that doesn't really. I've heard him do it all season. He goes on the radio in DC every Tuesday. Shout out to Kevin Sheehan and Tom Lavero.
What's up, guys?
He goes on there every week, and they would grill him, and they really like him, but they'd be like, they have to ask him questions.
Right.
He's the dude.
Yeah.
And he's so protective of his quarterback and of the team. You do a great job with that.
I appreciate it. Try to do it.
But you're excited. You think we do have a lot of pieces in place with you, Alfred, and Robert. You have to think next year is promising.
Oh yeah, I thought last year was promising. This year is gonna be promising too as well, because
Was it you who said we would have the best offense of all time?
Hey man, I did my part. Alfred did his part. We had some missteps, but it'll be all right. It's part of the game. That's
I'm
going
gonna
to
tell you something that I know about Redskins fans, and now it seems to be indicative of players as well.
Okay.
Every offseason going into we're going to have an amazing. Now, most teams will say that anyway, because you got to have, glass half full mentality. But my brother, you guys,
what are you about to say?
Will successfully ruin all of your opportunities. I'm a Raiders fan, so I know what it looks like to be a loser.
Oh my God! Don't say this in front of my.
No,
this is my
he had
guy.
a phenomenal season. He did his job.
He did.
But I believe, just like the Cowboys struggle with this too, the owner needs to go own, and coaches need to coach, and players need to play.
Pierre, do you feel that in your time with the Redskins, you've only been here 2 years, Dan Snyder is removed? Because I feel like as a fan, he has tried to step back. What's it like from your perception?
Yeah, I think so. You step back. He's not, doing press conferences, interviews all the time. He's just, actually worried about the team name and, trying to get that all figured out. But, I think, as players, you got to distract a lot of things and just ignore a lot of things. So, whatever comes up, you still got to go out there and play once that ball's kicked off.
What fans are more obsessive, the Colts fans or the Redskins fans?
Redskins fans, without a doubt.
It's crazier?
Yeah, without a doubt. It's the East Coast, the Midwest, they're not as rowdy.
Do you really? But do you sense a lot of love? Like, do you get a lot of love in DC?
Oh, yeah. DC, New York, Florida, wherever I go, they always notice the Redskins logo, and always somebody's from there, or always been a lifelong Redskins fan. And it's Maryland, Virginia, and DC. So it's not just one state.
Do you have a residence in DC?
Virginia. Well, we live out by the airport.
And you moved out there. You live in DC permanent now. Or sometimes. Florida, a little bit.
Yeah,
of
South
course.
Florida,
Of course.
Listen, you got to get down to that sunshine.
I understand.
Like our very own Victor Cruz does right here for the Giants. When he scores a touchdown, that salsa music comes on. You need to get that compa playing in here, boy. Run the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Represent. Thank you for coming by the show, man.
I know. Thanks for having me.
And have a great time at the Super Bowl.
Oh, will do.
Pierre Garçon, ladies and gentlemen, WQHT New York. It's the I-97 Morning Show. Run the tune. Sac Passe.